So now we are going to kind of shift gears a little bit. It still complements the branding piece. This is something, a tool that's going to be able to help you to really build your brand. You're good? Oh, of course. Of course. Technical difficulties yet again. But hopefully, after we get through this, I will be able to make your life a little bit easier. So, if you've ever felt like creating content takes too much time, you're not creative enough, you're definitely sitting in on the right presentation today. So, how many of us, by show of hands, have posted something on socials either at the last minute or because it just seemed a little too cumbersome, we just didn't do it at all? Right? Yeah. Because sometimes we feel like we just got to get it up there. And so we put something, no matter the quality, we put it up there just simply for the sake of getting it up there. Well, like I said, we'll kind of go through Canva as a tool to help you to build some quality content to go on your socials. So a lot of times we hear, time is a huge component of why our content isn't the best. Not being confident in design, because not all of us that are business owners have creativity in terms of design for something aesthetic on social media that's going to be eye catching. Also, inconsistent branding. So, if we haven't really thought about our branding, then we're kind of going to be like that before slide that we had, right? And it's going to be really all over the place, and it's going to be unrecognizable for you and your agency as people are just kind of looking through. So Canva is super cost efficient, cost effective. Like I had mentioned, there is a free version of Canva that anybody can just go on and start plugging in some things. I will say the free version is a little limited. I'll just be transparent about that. But the version of Canva that we pay for the year is only $250. So it's not that big of a chunk when you think about all the tools that you could get with this one tool that's going to help to really effectively build your brand, get some creative up on your socials and that type thing. So has anybody ever used Canva before? Good. So quite a few people. So hopefully today, as we go through some things, hopefully those that have used Canva will be able to walk away, with something new that maybe they haven't thought of before. For those that have never used Canva, I hope to really give you a great introduction of that. So then that way you walk away today with confidence that you can do this too. That's our goal. Okay. So as a business owner, we all feel like we wear all the hats, right? We're the ones that are responsible for marketing. That includes our emails, our social media, our print ads, all the things that go into marketing. We're also the ones, if you have a storefront, we're the ones that are greeting and working with customers as they come in because happy customers are going to be repeat customers, right? We're also responsible for ordering supplies. So we're the office manager too. We're ordering paper, we're ordering pens because you have to have things to operate. There are a lot of logistics that go with that. Finances. We're also handling that, which is everybody's favorite part of being a business owner, right? The finance piece, especially after, especially now that we're past last week, tax season, because that's always a fun time. But, we have all of those pieces. We're taking care of invoices, making sure that those are sent out when they need to go out. So because if we don't get paid, we don't operate. We're paying the bills because that money that we're being paid in, we also have to pay out. We're bookkeeping. We're doing all of the finances. I think without going through every single one of these, we get the idea. It's a lot, right? And so a lot of times our socials and that content is one of the very last things that we think about, doing and doing well. So when it comes to the marketing aspect, because we have all these other things that we are going through, trying to get those check marks and making sure that those are done right, sometimes we just throw that information up on socials, just to say that we're in somebody's face. But just because you're there doesn't mean that you're visible if you don't have the right content. So that's kind of what we'll touch on today and how to build that good content. So, what is one of your biggest struggles with design right now? Anybody have a struggle with design, Karen?
I'm not a marketing person, so
We're not
just
a
coming
marketing
up with
person.
the idea sometimes
Right.
can be tough.
Yeah,
Like how to design it
absolutely.
specifically.
Absolutely. What are some other struggles? That's a big one. Yeah,
Just knowing how to use it.
right.
You know, I mean, yeah, you can get on Google, how do you use Canva, but it doesn't give you what you need.
Right.
You know, so just, you've got the idea, but how do you get it into?
Yeah, how do you get from point A to finished, right? And it looked good. Perfect. Any other? Yes.
I think you probably touched on what I'm gonna ask you. I have a lot of people send me graphics from Canva
Mm-hmm.
to do the items I do for their marketing program.
Right.
And sometimes some of the stuff I get is not vector art, where, I guess what you opened up with was Canva has the free, you also
Mm-hmm.
have the pay.
Right.
Is that the difference in what people are getting? The free is not really vector art?
Right.
And
So.
when you get to the paid one, you'd be getting vector art to use?
Yeah, so that is one of the different options. So it's not so much the way you create it, and it kind of is, but in terms of, bless you, in terms of the way you save it. So there are some, because if you get on there, and I'll be honest, Canva can sometimes suck you in because it has like all of the things that you can plug in, and oh, this looks great, and you just keep building and building and building and building. But to your point, when you go to download that piece, it's so many elements, it just turns into mush when it gets to somebody like you. So that's when you kind of take it back to keeping it simple with your branding, like making sure that you're creating it in a way that is going to be able to be saved effectively as a vector piece of art. So when you get the paid version, you do have that capability of saving it as a SVG, which I don't think that you can get with the unpaid version. If that makes
will help
sense.
me guide people how to go about getting a vector file of what they created. A lot of people created really not a lot of nice stuff,
Right.
but they can't use it
Right.
for purposes that I use it for. Because a lot of people send me stuff that pixelates so badly, it just looks terrible when they
Yeah.
enlarge it to the size it needs to be.
Right.
But I have gotten from folks stuff I said, they tell me came from Canva, and I open it up, and here we go,
And it's
and all of
perfect.
a sudden it's vector.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
And I think too, so I'm glad that you bring this up, because I do want to preface with the fact that just because you have Canva, and we'll go over some things today, does not by any means make you an absolute Canva expert. There is still going to be a substantial learning curve with that. So I would say that use Canva in a way that you're still a little leery. Don't, after today, even though I'm going to give you some great tools, don't walk away thinking that, okay, we can go create everything now, because it's definitely not going to be that way, because just like she said, there's still a lot to learn with that. So, and it could be too something as simple as you have to set your dimensions of whatever it is that you're creating. So if they're creating something that's 250 by 250, we know that that's not going to be able to be enlarged and enlarged well by any means. So there is still going to be a lot to learn even past today, but at least hopefully this will give you guys the foundation to start building on that. And I saw a hand over here. Yes.
No, I was just gonna say, so I imagine a lot of people in here have a question about what is vectors or whatever. And so, I mean, the short answer, of course, is, a PNG or something on the web is something, but the vector we can take and put it on from
Yeah.
a print brochure to a billboard.
Right.
And one piece of branding I'd add is just because you have your brand doesn't mean it'll look the same on embroidered, print or something like that. So sometimes working with a trusted partner to get that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Very, very good point. So just because you have the tools doesn't mean that you're always have the tools. I guess is the best way to say it. So even though you have them, doesn't mean you always have them. But if you use this in a way specifically like for your socials and stuff, so if you already have that brand that's already created, you can create a brand in Canva, but to these guys' point, you still are probably going to need some expertise, or at least some expert help to kind of come in and make sure that it is still created in a way that is usable. But if you kind of already have that, I'll give you the tools to help you continue to build. To build with that. So it can save time and money. One of the things that I really like about Canva is you can actually go ahead and build your brand kit. So obviously we had an outside agency that developed that for us. So we were able to take those assets that came through in that brand identity. We're able to plug those into Canva. So then that way, when we go into Canva to create something, we don't have to go through and figure out exactly what our colors are and go and find our logo and bring it in and import it. It's already there. It's already under that brand kit for us. And then too, so we ran into something this week. We were working with an organization that has an event coming up, and they just needed a little help from us with a flyer and then an ad that's being ran, but they were two totally different sizes. So the poster was substantially larger than the ad, and then the dimensions were slightly off. One of the things that I really like about this too is you can go in, you can resize it. It's gonna, resize it for you in a way that probably aesthetically isn't going to be exactly the way that you want it as your end result, but at least it kind of goes ahead and gets it as close to as possible, and then you can kind of reconfigure that so that it works for those dimensions. And then the drag and drop. I knew that there was one thing. So drag and drop is something that I really like, specifically when we're working with already built templates, and I'll go over this too shortly. So when you have those templates that are already in there, you still want to make them yours. So you still want to bring in your photography, your logos, like all the things there. But it allows you to drag that into it, and then it'll kind of pop it in for you, which we'll go over as well. So I did mention this just a minute ago, but with Canva, it really allows you to build with your own voice. So even though there's templates there, you can still play around with those, make them yours, because how many of us have noticed, especially around Christmas time, the Christmas parade flyers that kind of float around for all the municipalities across the state almost look exactly alike. Y'all notice that? So it's because they're not taking those templates and really making them theirs. So that's, kind of one of the things too. They're not plugging in their brand. They're not plugging in their colors. They're not plugging in their logos and their fonts. So, you really want to utilize that tool. And with, again, this is with the paid version, and I do want to preface with that, you can already upload all of that in there, so it will save you time. And let's face it, time is money, right? All right, so your fast content framework. This is going to be, it doesn't matter what you are building. But if you are one that design intimidates you, this is going to be your best friend. Now, if you are one that really likes, being creative, starting from scratch and building from the ground up, then this probably isn't going to be quite your forte here. But if design intimidates you, definitely live by this. Start with a template. Templates are our friend. They can be. Again, you don't want to end with the way the template looked when you brought it in, because you want to bring in your items and you want it to have your voice. But start with a template, because sometimes we are able to build ideas off of a previous idea, right? And then it just gets better. Swap, don't build. So those elements that are there on there that may not exactly work for what you're trying to convey or what your message is, swap those out, but still kind of keep that same somewhat layout. Keep it clean. You don't have to have every single detail about an event on that flyer. You don't have to let them know exactly what time this is going to start, and then 15 minutes later they want to go over here and do this. Like, you don't want to put all of that on there, because it comes a little cumbersome, and people just aren't going to read all of that. So you want to keep it clean. You want to keep it simple. Get out those main points that you want people to walk away from with that particular content, and then you also want to stay on brand. And then I will go ahead and get into the live demo because I feel like we can spend a lot of time on this, and I want to make sure that we go through this effectively and efficiently for you guys. So with your content creation, you want to, again, use that template, have that brand, you want to customize it, and you download it. So it can really be 4 simple steps. Now, those 4 simple steps, you know, if you allow it, can take you a long time. But if you just keep it simple, then 15 minutes or less, you can do all the things. Pick your template, customize it, bring in your brand, download it, and then out the door, okay? So let's go ahead and get into the demo here. And I do want to show you an example first. And I actually thought about this yesterday when I was posting it.
Which the team? I think it's.
It's under DARPA.
You're welcome.
See, this is a good thing too. With Canva, you can collaborate with other agencies. Okay. Is it not going? Look, I don't have my glasses on, y'all.
Yeah.
Go here. And then go person.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Again, 40-plus-year-old eyes up here. Okay. So I did want to show you this before we get into a live demo. And I thought about this yesterday as I was doing it because I thought it would be important to see. So yesterday was Earth Day. Lindsay reminded me of that because sometimes with all the things going on in this brain up here of mine, you know, some of those things are always on the forefront of my mind. But luckily, again, she's the yin to my yang. She brought to my attention that it's Earth Day. We need to do something. So I thought, okay, we have this presentation going up. This would be perfect to kind of show how we take a template and make it ours. So this, what you see here, is the template as it came in from Canva. 0 changes, exactly how, you know, they had it. I could have just thrown our logo on there and called it a day, right? But would it have had our voice? Would it have, you know, had our brand? No. So you always want to make it better. So here I changed out the colors. So the colors that are now in this are from our color palette. It's just slight changes, but this now comes from the Visit Roco voice. It's just little things, and it literally took me 5 minutes to do. Just again, those little things that can make a huge difference. All right, so now let's get into demos. And I do have me some notes because I have an idea of the direction that I want us to go in. All right. So let's start with the flyer, okay? So we're gonna go to create. And then we are going to go to flyer portrait. And so this comes up, blank page. Oh no, right? Where do we go from here? Little intimidating, right? Well, the best thing I can tell you to do, utilize those templates. That's going to be your first thing. So you can go over here and is anybody from the Acts for Autism, are they here?
I'm here.
Perfect. This one's for you. So I did, you know, transparency. I did kind of think these through, and you know who I could do. So then that way we wouldn't waste time on figuring out what kind of flyer we're going to create. So you guys have a clay shooting event coming up in the fall, correct? All right. So they want to get out a flyer, of course, after Saturday. They want to get out a flyer for their clay shooting event. All right, so clay shooting. Go here, tons of different options. All right, which one are we gonna pick? You know, I think I could work with this one. Let's go with this one. Yeah. Is it ready to go out the door? No. So there are quite a few things that we want to change here, all right? So with this one, I do want to say I've gone ahead and uploaded some things in here just for sake of time today. So I've uploaded their logo, and I'll show you, I don't have their brand kit uploaded, so we will have to go through that. But it'll be good for you guys to see that even if you have the paid version, you can still work around some of these things that you get with the paid version. It may just be a couple of extra steps there. So first things first, I'm gonna lock this bad boy down right here because I'm gonna move some things. And if I don't lock it down, and that was simply a right click lock. If I don't lock it down, then this, and that one's gonna need to be locked down as well. So right click lock. And then now I'm going to get rid of these things here. All right. So again, I've uploaded their logo. I want to plug that in. But you know what? That logo does not have a transparent background. It could work because we are going to put it on white, but let's say that we wanted to put it over top of something else that didn't have a white background. You can go up here, remove background. It's going to take that white away. Now, with this particular one, I'm not going to worry about it because I am going to put it right up here. But let's say that you wanted to keep the white circle. A quick fix on that, and we've had to do this several times with partner logos and that type thing. You can go in and just put a white circle behind it, position it behind it, and then lock them together. And then you can move it, and it still has that white, and you don't lose anything there. All right, so does this look good? Is it branded for them? It's getting there. First step is we have the logo. Second step is these colors are all wrong, right? And then of course, like some of the, obviously the verbiage that they have. So let's go ahead and change this verbiage here. So we're gonna do fall shootout. For autism. Hope that's spelled right. I don't have all my glasses. Okay, so that's looking better. Colors are still wrong. So let's go in and change this color. So I want to really start bringing in the colors from their brand, right? So I'm going to go up here. This is your font color. So obviously I don't have their brand kit uploaded in here. So I'm gonna have to figure out how in the world am I gonna bring in these brand colors. So I don't just want to go through and kind of willy-nilly pick something that's going to be similar, because that's still going to be slightly off. We want that consistency. We want to be on point. So how are we going to do this? So you can go over here and click that plus button. Oh, y'all can't see that. Okay, so there's a plus button just beyond the brown, the dark gray, and the black. There's a plus button, and you click on that, and that's going to give you a color palette. You could pick one of those colors, but what I like to do is pick this dropper here. So if you notice, this dropper, when I move it across, it is picking up the colors from that item that I'm moving across. So I like that green. I think that green is really going to pop. So plug it in. And then hopefully you guys can see this. So down here, instead of going through and having to change everything that was that brown color to green, there is an option to change all. I'm going to select that. I'm going to see what that looks like. That could be kind of cool. Oh. That did not work. Let's try that again. And it could be that the colors are just slightly different. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, so this one here, this is a darker brown. Don't really like the way that looks either. I want to have that consistent green. So being that I've already selected that vivid green that it's calling it from their logo, I'm gonna make that green. This here, let me actually, I'm gonna change this a little bit, but I'm gonna go ahead and make this bigger because for me, I can't see that. We want that to be large and vibrant. All right, so we're getting there. We have some identity here that I feel like is starting, it's not there yet, but it's starting to be consistent with the brand. Let's go ahead and change this color here, just so we don't have too many colors going on and make it too busy because we really want to get our message across. We're going to change that to the green. And then let's start changing some of this verbiage because I have no idea where 123 Anywhere Street in Anywhere USA is, right? So we want to start making this customized for us. Is there any kind of entry fee for?
Yes, it's $100
Okay.
buy-in, but there will be a catered lunch as well.
Okay. All right, so let's, because that's important to know. So let's, instead of having that, that payout that I had mentioned, let's do entry fee here. So then that starts to bring in our information. And then Saturday, October, close. But we're gonna change this date to Saturday, October the 10th,
Yes.
correct? And it is from 9 to 2.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm gonna make this just a little bit bigger so you guys can see. So when I plugged that in, it didn't really it took it down to another line, but you can expand that out and not have to change a whole lot. So you don't have to, mess with your design too terribly much. And then the location is Shane's shooting clays, right? Sporting clays. All right, again, that was a little bit bigger than what it had plugged in. Easy fix. Just expand that out. And the address is 6319 US 158 Summerfield. All right, and then it has it justified centered. We are going to put it to the right, or excuse me, to the left, just because I think that that looks better. And see what we think there. I would like to make that a little bit bigger. Again, with your templates, a lot of times you can, the things that are in the background, if you select that verbiage there, it's going to select that green box behind it. So I'm going to lock that down. So then that way I don't have to go in and refix, that box location, because I just want to make that bigger. All right, and then so for more information, we're going to do the phone number that was on y'all's website, 336-520-0365. Expand that box so we don't lose anything. And then we're going to plug in, because reallyGreatSite.com, I have no idea what that is. That's why it's really important to make sure that you pay attention to all of the things that, that you're changing. And what are some other bits of information that you would like for people to know about this particular event?
That there is going to be a catered lunch,
Okay.
that they will be shooting 50 clays.
Okay.
And gun rentals are available as well as ammunition can be purchased on site or you can bring your own.
Okay, let's do, let's do just FYI, just off the cusp here. So catered lunch provided. You said 50 clays included. I'm gonna put shooting clays just so it gives it a little bit more. gun rental and ammunition rental
or
available? Or gun rental. Ammunition. A-M-M. How do you spell that? You ever second guess yourself, like when you have everybody looking at you? All right. Anything else? Okay. All right. And you don't have to go like with this. I mean, you could obviously make this a little bit different, but just going through off the cusp, and trying to show you guys a few things. So this now looks much more in their voice, wouldn't you think? There are probably some additional things that we could do. Like I said, if you had your brand kit that was already kind of uploaded into this, you could already have your fonts uploaded. So then that way you could plug in your actual fonts into this flyer. So that way it does have a lot more of that brand voice. But, kind of off the cusp and on a whim here, I think that this definitely keeps that voice for you guys, and would be ready to at least send to somebody else's eyes to review and then possibly to print. So it gets the message across. All right, any questions on that piece? Yes, Steve.
All right, when you went back and picked up all those colors when you first started that,
Mhm.
to use their branding colors,
Mhm.
It keeps having to know what the PMS color number is, just number one. But does that tell you the PMS color number?
It does. Well, it gives you the hex code. Excuse me. It gives you the hex code. So with this, usually, you would have your colors already uploaded. And you would upload them via the hex code, not the Pantone.
Not necessarily. Sometimes people send me stuff, and if I could take it to that, put it in there, I'd have to figure out the colors. They don't know what PMS colors mean most of the time.
Right.
So therefore, if I can pick that up, would that tell me that so I can communicate with the printer on that? A lot of times they want to know the PMS colors you want to use.
Yeah, so it's not going to tell you the PMS colors, but it will give you that hex code strictly.
Does it give you the CMYK? I thought it.
You can save it in CMYK versus RGB, but it's not going to give you the CMYK. Yeah.
Thank you for my question. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions on flyer creation?
How does that work with accessibility?
So because you can actually go in and save it in various formats here, usually when you save it, especially as a PDF, then when you upload that particular PDF onto a website, then that allows the the website readers and stuff that are for accessibility, it allows it to be able to be readable. So with this too, so let's say that somebody has sent me a PDF document that has a typo. I can go in and fix that typo easy. I don't necessarily want to send that back. I can actually, because of the version of Adobe that I have, I can actually open it in PDF and make that change, just so long as I have that font. But the big thing is there that because you can save it in those formats, it's already ready for those types of readers. That's a good question, because that's a huge thing right now. In fact, that's something that the county is making sure that we are definitely on top of, for sure. Yeah.
You can add alt text on Canva.
I'm sorry?
You can add alt text
Uh-huh.
on Canva.
Yes. Well, and then too, if for some reason, let's say that you don't, and then you get to a point of that you're uploading it, or somebody else has sent you something. So, and this is just not specifically a Canva thing. This is just for your knowledge. But even on Facebook now, there is a place that you can put the alt text. So if it comes to you in a way that isn't already ready for accessibility, then there are other ways around that too. But thank you for that. Did I see a hand over here? Okay. Jim, how am I on time? 2 minutes? Okay. Let's zoom it on through this then. I'm going to show y'all one. Do I have time for maybe one more? Okay. We'll do, Gretchen, I made you a promise. I'll have to get with you later on that because this other one would be quicker. So let me go here. So we're back home again. I'm gonna go to create. I want to do Facebook. We are gonna go here, Facebook post. And I'm gonna go to template. And how many of you guys know that April the 25th is Hug a Plumber Day? Learn something new every day, right? All right. All right, so let's see. Let's go through and find something super simple here. Let's just, for kicks and giggles, let's just plug this one in. Okay, so National Hug a Plumber Day is coming up April 25th. Just because you post content doesn't mean that it always has to be like content that is, come buy this, we have this on sale today, this event is happening. You can keep it fun and you can keep it fresh. So we're going to keep it fun, we're going to keep it fresh, and we want our plumbers to get lots of hugs coming up on April the 25th. So what I'm going to do is we're going to put it out there. So we're going to use this drag and drop feature because I've already gone to Dyer's website and I've already stolen this from them. And we are going to plug these wonderful guys that are all gloved up, and we are going to put them right there on that Facebook post. Now with this, that doesn't look good. We want to remove that background. So you go up and remove that background. It does that for you. And then because it put it in the constraints of the picture that was already there, it did actually crop that down. So we're going to recrop that. And then we are just going to take that right on out. So they are there. And then we just want to do just a little bit of verbiage. So we're going to do National a Plumber. Expand that out, bring this up. These colors, these aren't Dyer's colors, are they? We don't need that because that's not our message. So we're going to go ahead and just get rid of all of that. Now let's go ahead and brand this up just a little bit here. We're going to plug in Dyer's logo there. Going to change the dimensions on that, and we're going to remove that background just so we can put that somewhere nice and neat. We're going to take that down here, plug it right in the bottom left hand corner, and then let's go ahead and start changing these colors so our brand voice is coming through. So we're going to go through, we're going to pick this yellow color because that's super fun and vibrant. Then that blue, that's definitely not their blue, so we're going to go through, we're going to select that dropper, let's actually select their blue, not the blue that we're trying to replace. That's theirs. Get rid of that green. Let's go ahead and incorporate in some of their other colors from their logo. Let's bring in that blue. Let's change that yellow to their yellow, which we've already selected, so we can just go up and pull that right on in. And then this blue, we've already selected their blue, so we're going to pull that right on in. Boom. Ready to post. National Hug a Plumber Day. So again, you don't have to have and know everything about Canva. There is a learning curve. I'm definitely not saying that you're going to walk out of here today and be any kind of expert, but hopefully at least it gives you a little bit of confidence that you can do this too, and this is a tool that can be readily at your fingertips should you need it.